still remember, I'm 31 years old. I remember when I was 12 years old and I was a nice guy for the girl with the big titties who sat next to me in class. She made me hold her binder. What's up, gentlemen? Listen, I know it's been a while since I've posted a long form piece of content on this channel, but we're back. The goal is to post fresh infields, this podcast, other forms of long form content. I'm gonna do it once a week. Be on the lookout for that. I know you guys love the infields, they're coming. I wanna give a special thanks to Fuego and Sonrisa podcast. They invited me on to their podcast. We had a great conversation. It was a lot of fun. Enjoy that. Lastly, we now have a Discord. All of our students right now are in the Discord, and I'm opening it up for everybody else. It used to be private, but now it's open for everybody else. So if you're trying to improve your game and you don't want to do like an expensive coaching program, I know there's a lot of those out there, and you just want to see what some students are finding success with, the script, I know I've talked about that a lot in the past, it's in the Discord. Check it out in the link below. Other than that, for those of you guys who have stuck around with me this long, and even when I wasn't posting, I appreciate it, but a lot of shit's coming out soon. I'm excited to get started. I'll see you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Grizz, Fuego and Sonrisa podcast.
Hey.
Today we have a special guest coming from the southern part of California. Not the most southernest, but the most fun. Anaheim and the Bay. Give a round of applause for the Big Grizz.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited.
Thank you for coming on.
Of course.
Definitely. Yeah, Big Grizz. If you want to go ahead and just kind of give a background of who you are and how you got into your work field or your field of work.
How I got into this line of work?
Yeah. Let us.
All right. So a little bit about who I am. My name is Big Grizz. I'm 31 years old, living in Anaheim. Came up in a bunch of industries when it comes to like finance, stuff like that, sales, marketing, e-commerce, trading, mortgages, real estate, whatever. Quick background on me. I got into the dating space because I actually when I moved to LA a couple years ago. Do you mind if I go into the story?
No, go for it. Yeah.
When I got into LA, I moved to LA a couple years ago. I was actually in a small town, Bakersfield. So like I know a lot of dudes who struggle with dating. Their biggest thing is, but I'm in a small town. Shit, bro, I did the same thing, man. Like I was in a small town and I had to figure it out. Anyway, I got to LA, didn't have any family, didn't have any friends out there. The closest family that I really hung out with was like an hour and a half away. So I had to build a social life from scratch. Like imagine just picking up everything right now, moving to a new city. That's what I did. I didn't know anybody there. And so the first thing that I thought of was, well, in order for me to have some kind of company, I'd love to have some girls around. So that's what I'm gonna do. And that's what I did for a long time in Bakersfield. I just did my thing, right? So during that time, I actually was developing like I figured out how to talk to girls. I figured out how to say the right things so that they're interested in talking to me, go on dates after a date, like they want to keep seeing me. So I did that in LA. In 6 weeks, man, like I was there 6 weeks. Within 6 weeks, I had 8 girls on my roster. So that's when I realized, okay, I got something here. Like there's something that's repeatable. It's a system. I met a friend, my first friend in LA, and he would always try to, get me to go out. He'd be like, yo, man, let's hang out tonight. Hey, I'm busy. I can't. All right, what you doing tomorrow? I can't tomorrow either. Well, what you doing Saturday? I got something going on. He's like, bro, didn't you tell me you just moved here? Like, how do you have friends? What do you do every night? I'm like, you're not going to believe me, man, but I have a date. Like, I have a girl every night. Like, that's what I do on my off time. I'm hanging out with a girl. He's like, for real? I'm like, yeah. How? Do you use Tinder? I'm like, not really. I don't even really use Tinder. I just, I go out and I meet girls. And so he's like, we need to hang out. I was like, all right, cool. Let's go out. We went out and I showed him. I just showed him what I do. I'm like, look, this is what you do. I go out. I go up to him. And I'm not even talking about clubs, bars. I'm like talking about going out to where everybody hangs out, like the beach, boardwalks. The 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica was huge for me. I'd go there all the time. The Grove in Hollywood, people know where that's at. Yeah, Woodland Hills, the big mall out there. And he'd come with me. He saw what I did, and he's like, bro, I want to learn. I said, I'll teach you. Don't worry. Do this, do this, do this. Bro, it worked like a charm. Like this guy was like amazed, and then he's all, dude, you need to sell this. Like you need to make money off this. Do this online, and you'll start getting clients, and people will pay you. And I was like, let's try it. And so my brother has a background in marketing, and we started the TikTok. We grew from there, and we're here now, man.
Shout out to your brother, by the way.
Yeah, he couldn't be here today, but yeah, you guys met my brother David.
Yeah,
he's all on the back end. He does all the back end stuff. I'm just the face, but man, I love the fact that I have a brother that I'm working with, and we're building something together. So
like a legacy, right?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay, cool. You want to dive in or dive in?
Yeah. So I guess my first question or topic, I guess, would be like, you've noticed to yourself too how and nowadays a lot of these guys are becoming nice guys, and they're trying to use that as a tactic to get women, but it's a very bad or terrible tactic. So how would you, like, if you had a nice guy as a client, right, what are some steps that you would tell him to get out of that mindset to get into a different mindset?
Well, you just said it right now, right? It's a mindset, and it's so tough because like, I don't know if you guys believe this, but I truly believe everything that you ingest, right? From the food that you eat to everything that you watch to the music that you listen to, it programs you. And like your mind is very programmable. The habits that you do every day program who you become, right? If you go to the gym every day, I genuinely believe that going into the gym every day reprograms your DNA. So when people say, oh, it's just genetics, nah, motherfucker, it's not genetics. Like, family had bad habits, and now you have the bad habits, and so your body is shit, right? So, like, growing up, I had skinny-ass chicken legs, right? And after college, like, or in high school, at the end of high school and college, I hit the weights hard. Now my legs are a lot thicker, right? So you can change those things. So when it comes to being the nice guy, you got to just reprogram that. And that's so much work. It takes a lot of work. I think step one has to be, you have to have an open mind. You have to be like, you know what I've been doing for the last fucking how long, right? Can we cuss? We can cuss?
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead.
No matter how long, like, it hasn't worked. I've been the nice guy for this long. It hasn't worked. The girls that I talked to when I was a nice guy ended up cheating on me, ended up going with some fucking asshole. It doesn't work. You have to accept it first. It's like AA, right? When you go to AA, people are addicted to alcohol. Bro, you're addicted to this stupid mentality that doesn't fucking work, and you're stuck in it. You have to accept reality. And how do I know that? Because I was a nice guy. Like, I was a nice guy back in the day. When I was in high school, in middle school, I still remember. I'm 31 years old. I remember when I was 12 years old, and I was a nice guy for the girl with the big titties who sat next to me in class. She made me hold her binder. And I thought because I was going to be the nice dude holding her binder, she was going to date me. I just couldn't get the courage to go up and talk to her and try to, spit game. I didn't know. I wasn't taught that way, right? Yeah. 2 weeks later, she's fucking hanging out with one of the dudes who runs a little fucking tagging crew, right? You're in middle school, there's a little tagging crew, and he's the head honcho. She's with him. Why? Because he's the alpha or whatever. And the nice guy doesn't work. So it took me until end of high school, and when I was in college, when I realized, you know what, this doesn't work, I have to accept that I have to just pivot. I have to go in another direction. Because what is the definition of insanity? It's
doing the same thing over and over again.
Expecting a different outcome. And that's what these nice guys are doing. They're technically and logically acting insane. So step one is you got to just accept that you're wrong.
Okay.
Does that answer the question, or do you want me to go in more depth, or
you have something to say?
If you want to say the nice guy, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
What's that?
Keep going, pretty much. Okay. So after you accepted that you accepted that you are the nice guy. So all right, I'm the nice guy. So what do I do from here?
So number one is you got to accept that. Okay, you know what? I'm wrong. Right? Okay. Once you have that, once you're like, okay, well, I get it. I understand what you're saying. What can I do next? Next is you got to harden yourself up, right? Because this new generation, everybody is so nice. So you're living in this mentality that there's a utopia that exists. The utopia doesn't exist, right? There's never going to be a perfect world. In order for there to be a winner, there's got to be a loser. Then that's something that's just real in everything, in making money. In order for you to have your coffee, in your case, you're probably winning, right? Because you get a Starbucks and it's amazing, great. But you're losing at the same time. You're losing a couple bucks, right? For Starbucks, they're losing the coffee, but they're gaining the dollars. So everything in this world is a transaction. Everything in this universe, doesn't matter what it is. It's a thermal law of physics as well, right? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed; it can only be transferred, and that's what a transaction is a transaction of goods and services, a transaction of energy. So when it comes to finally accepting that, now you got to say, okay, cool, I finally accept this. Now I have to move over into, I was on this spectrum. I was the nice guy. How can I learn to be the kind of the bad guy, right? Doesn't mean you have to completely be the bad guy, but head in that direction. And then you can find the balance that you want. Everything in life is balanced, right? So the spectrum is good guy, bad guy. Where on the spectrum do you want to be? It's up to you. So figure out what the bad guy is and start doing shit that bad dudes do, right? Start doing shit like that. And I'm not saying you got to go rob and steal and kill people, but be in that environment. Like, learn what it is that those guys are experiencing that developed their perspective. So you have to reverse engineer it. So for me, naturally, I already had that. Why? Because I grew up in that environment. I grew up with a lot of underprivileged people. Like the community I grew up in, it was like that, right? Technically the hood. I was blessed where I didn't have to completely associate in that environment. My parents taught me a different way, but I grew up like the east side of Bakersfield. I didn't live there, but I hung out there almost every day. So if you look up east side of Bakersfield, you already know like crime is high, police shootings are high, there's drugs everywhere. It's a bad area. And so I was there every day. And being in that kind of area starts developing your perspective of what those dudes think. So, for example, one of the things is, instead of being a nice guy, is be a fucking dick, right? If someone gets in your way, don't say, excuse me, just walk by, right? If you feel like you got to take a fucking piss in the street. It's not a big deal. Like, what's going to happen? If you get in an argument, punch first, bro. Like, that's all there is to it. If someone gives you shit, motherfucker, then let's go. Put your hands up. Let's go. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the mentality and the practices that you have to start incorporating in your life. I'm not saying you got to punch somebody. I'm just saying if someone talk shit back. Don't be afraid to talk shit back.
Just don't accept it. Yeah.
Exactly. And that starts developing your frame. And that's shit. You know what? If you want to be more fun, fuck it. You want to drink? Go fucking drink. Like, right? Like those dudes, that's what they do to have fun. They have party. Like they'll party. They'll do cocaine. I'm not saying go do drugs, but I'm just saying like when you see how crazy those dudes are and the mentality that they have, when you start understanding like, hey, we're so careless, it's kind of fun. And that fun is what attracts these women. So how can I become more fun by incorporating some of that carelessness into my life? Once you figure that out, then you start becoming more of that. You have that aura of a bad one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And there's a lot more to it. That's just like, sorry guys, I start sweating when there's lights and shit because I'm a
that's all good now, man.
And it's funny because when I used to I used to do real estate. When I was in real estate in Bakersfield, it's hot as hell. And when I'd be out there talking to people and clients and stuff, you wearing a shirt like this, but it's buttoned up, right? My chest was sweating. I started getting a little stain right here, like, wow, I had to change shirts and shit. But it is what it is, man.
Okay. You gotta roll with the punches, like they say.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and change the topic? I know you got something to say.
No, because he kind of answered the question I was going to ask, but I guess just to add on to that, actually. Okay, let's say I'm this nice guy and I started leaning more. I went to the opposite end of the spectrum and I just started doing all the things that will quote unquote call me a bad boy. Let's say I kind of overcome that and I start finding my zone. How can I start incorporating maybe some wit into my personality, some charisma that will potentially make me more of a sexual object or attraction towards women, if I'm starting to move towards that direction? Great question.
It starts with moving into that bad boy realm, right? Because and this is how I view things. It's my own theory. Like, I mean, I've read enough books to where this is where I've gotten my theories from. I can't recall what
the
books
Big Grizz theory. The
Big Grizz theory. Yeah, it is. Bible Big Grizz shit. I mean, I have the books. They're right here. They're on my bookshelf. I should have sat in front of them so you could see them. But I have a whole bookshelf. These are all books I read in my early 20s, mid 20s, and it's developed the mentality that I have, the perspective that I have. So there's two, in my opinion, and it could get biblical too if you want, right? In the Bible, and in all religions, it talks about a heaven and a hell, right? So there's a spiritual realm and there's a earthly realm. In the Bible, it talks about if you're of this earth, you're of sin, you're of everything bad, and that's what the bad boy is. The bad boy is everything of this earth. So when you consider things of this earth, it's an animalistic kind of what's the word? Like you're more animalistic. Your animalistic instincts come out. You view life in a life and death situations, right? Mm-hmm. You view life as more savage. And there's the other end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is spiritual, right? People who want that utopia. Why? Because they haven't lived in the animal world. They haven't lived in the hood. They haven't experienced poverty. They haven't experienced death, suicide, homicide, drugs. They haven't experienced that. So for them, they're in this la-la land. Yeah. And that goes into everything on this earth. That goes into politics, the left versus the right. That goes into how people think, how rich people are different than the poor people. Like, it's everywhere. So if you want to be more sexual, you have to see, okay, what realm is this from? Is it godly to be more sexual? I mean, technically speaking, if you think sex, do you think God? You don't.
No, right? No, yeah, I was gonna say no.
If you think sex, you think, fucking just, right? You think the raw shit, right?
Except it's like human, yeah, animalistic, human.
Exactly. And it is animalistic. I mean, think about it. Dogs don't care if you're watching; they're gonna get down, right? They don't care. So that's you have to access that animal side of you, and like, okay, I'm animalistic, yes. So if you want to be more sexual, access the animalistic side. How do you do that? That's where it gets tricky. That's where it's harder to like. I can't tell you, hey man, look, go on this date, go do this. She's gonna perceive you to be more sexual. It's more than that, because it's an energy. Everybody has a different type of energy. Girls, it's so funny because, man, and this goes into text game too. Like all this shit ties in together. People think, why did I need to hire a dating coach? Motherfucker, because you don't see all this shit. Like, there's so much more shit that you don't understand. So anyway, it goes into text game. People, I get this all the time. I get beautiful girls who I date who tell me, man, when I'm with you, it's crazy. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you're exactly who I imagined you would be when we were texting. And we don't even text a lot. And then and the girls will say, but other dudes, I text them and then we go on a date and it's so different. It's so different. But why? Because that dude is trying to act like someone he's not. He's trying to be sexual with his text, but that's not who he is. That's not his aura. That's not his energy. If he goes out on the street, girls don't look at him and think sex. And I don't mean to brag or anything, but you think if I walk on the street and a girl sees me, what's the first thing she's gonna think? Damn, I want to fuck that dude. Yeah. Right? And it's not because I'm good looking. I built this, right? I'm not even the best looking dude. My ears stick out. I got bags under my eyes. My hairline's receding. I'm a little chunky, right? But it's just the way that I hold myself. The
look you have, the way you present yourself.
The look that I've developed.
You got certain ideas.
Exactly. Yeah. Why? Because I have accessed my animalistic side. So that's where it roots from. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say, like, I don't want to say, because I know you mentioned that it's not like a one size fits all answer to charisma, but like, I guess like to kind of direct men who are put in that position, maybe like start working on this animalistic sexual energy that maybe you don't have it, right? That's probably why that makes you a nice guy. But maybe start building on that. Maybe find ways to look in the mirror.
First thing that you can do, very simple. First thing you can do is change who you hang out with. Change who you hang out with. People you hang out with, and stop watching the shit that you watch, right? Because a lot of dudes are being you're being programmed, right? So if you're a nice guy, you're being programmed to be a nice guy. Change that, right? Watch more 007 movies. Watch that 365-day movie on Netflix. That's a great movie. That's one of my date ideas. Like whenever I'm feeling lazy, I tell my girl, hey, just come over. Just come over to my place. We'll figure it out. All right. They show up. I serve up a fucking drink. I put on a 365 days movie. Shit, we in it 45 minutes in, 30 minutes in. Energy in the room is right? So that's the first thing you can do is start programming your mind to change the perspective, to change what you believe in. Okay, you know what? Now all I watch is 007 movies. Like, I'm a badass too. I need to act like this dude, right? I listen to 50 Cent. That's all I listen to. I'm not listening to fucking, I don't know who these artists are nowadays talking about all kinds of dumb BS, you know, anime. Stop watching fucking anime. Like, that shit's gay. When I was growing up, if you watched anime, you were a fucking nerd. I don't know why it's so popular nowadays. Like, damn, people think it's really cool. And they put that shit. My main girl last night, this happened, and I shouldn't be talking about my private life right now in present. I know we talked about this earlier, but girls have told me that on their profiles, on Hinge profiles, on dating profiles, guys will talk about, if you're like this anime character, we're gonna get along. What the fuck? Like, you think a girl is attracted to that? It depends on what kind of girl you want, right?
Yes,
there's different types of girls. There's the very feminine, girly girls who want a man. They want a man, right? And there's this other girls who are more masculine, who don't want to have kids, who are focused on their career, who think like a man, and they want a friend, right? So you as a man have got to realize, okay, which girl do I want? Which girl am I attracted to?
Yeah.
And then if that's what I'm attracted to, then then it's okay if I'm a friendly guy, because the masculine girl is going to be attracted to me, and that's fine. But those are the girls who do what they want. Those are the girls who won't listen to you. Those are the girls who are disobedient, right? I don't fuck with those girls. I don't pay them any attention. I'm here. I'm with the girl who wants to be obedient. Like, it's so funny, and this is hilarious. And I know we'll probably get some shit from me. I apologize, but it's the truth. These girls, the feminine, submissive girls, they want to be told what they to do. Like, they want a man to come in and practically tell them, do this, do this, do this, learn it, do it. And that's it. And they love it when you say, if you don't do it, I'm out. They love it. I've seen it time and time again. I've dated tons of girls like those are the only girls I date. And the girls who know that if because these girls know, and there's all these other girls can give sex. Sex is normal. Like, there's nothing special about it. The only thing that's gonna make me stand out is if I listen. And a guy who's of quality, a guy who has his life together, think about it. You think that man has his life together by allowing other people to talk shit about him, to step over him, to not listen to what he says? No. People who are on top of the food chain are on top for a reason. Why? Because whatever they say goes. So you think that kind of man is going to allow a little girl to come in and just tell him what to do? Fuck no. He's going to be like, I didn't listen to nobody in business. What makes you think I'm going to listen to you? Right? So those girls understand, okay, I got to be obedient. And people will say it's grooming, right? I've literally had girls tell me, hey, you can groom me if you want.
Oh.
Literally, I've had that girls tell me that. Because they know that I know better. I'm going to teach them something better.
You're going to lead them.
I'm going to lead them in the right direction, because that's my job as a man, is to lead.
As I was going to say that, I was going to say, even though there is like this whole, like, there's music saying you need a boss babe and all this stuff, it's the only people that are making money are the people that are promoting that. So the marketers, advertisers, and all that. And so when they actually finally see somebody that they're attracted to, that is a leader, that takes on leadership skills and qualities, it's like they can let that guard down and really be who they naturally are.
It's who they naturally are.
Yeah,
you nailed it on the head. It's just that they have been programmed by the music that they're listening to, and that's one. As a man, you just got to understand the game, right? That's where game comes in. The game isn't saying the right things. Game is none of that. Game is the game that we are playing on this earth, right? And so part of the game is that people are malleable, and that you can program people. And women are the easiest to program. And so that's why all this music comes down and programs these women. But you as a man, either avoid it or tell the girl, listen, you stop listening to this music or we're not dating. Because that's you respecting yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's not, you're not, I don't even know what the definition is, but people are gonna say, oh, you're manipulating her. You're not manipulating. I'm just telling you, like, I'm not gonna date you if you don't listen. That's it. There's nothing wrong with it, right? That's a law. That's a Big Grizz law. If you break the law, you go to jail, and jail is not dating you. That's it. That's how I live my life, and that's just frame, right? That's you living your life the way you want to and how you are going to, and those are your standards. And guys don't have that. Guys have no standards nowadays. Guys have no frame because they don't even know there's a game that's being played. So how do they know the rules to play by? Right? And that's the biggest thing. But as a guy, what I would do, one of the things that one of the questions I ask on first dates is what kind of music, who do you listen to? Like what kind of music you listen to? Right away. If they mention Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, whatever, all these fucking artists, nope. I'm like, nope. That's it. I put them in I have two categories, right? I have my fuck around category, hoes. I have my potential girlfriend category. So depending on the first date, I'll put you in one category and I'll treat you accordingly. And so that's how it's done.
Cool. All right. If you have any more questions, I can move it.
Go for it.
Okay, so I like that. I would say that's all the way you said. I would categorize it more like inner game, your self-belief gets you out there, right? Okay, let's get into like, okay, I have all that. I have my personality, my persona. I have confidence now. I can go and approach a hot girl. What is your tip for an opener message opener when you approach, like your opening approach? Is there a certain angle you come at it? What are your tips on that?
Okay, the way to answer this question is you got to put yourself in the mind of a girl, right? So, first of all, do you think that just because you see a beautiful girl walking down the street, do you think that she has noticed you? You can answer the question.
No. I don't.
If she hasn't seen you. And even if she has seen you, do you think she's noticed you? And even if she did notice you, do you think 3 seconds later after you walk by, she's going to continue to think about you? It's very highly unlikely, unless you're like Chris Brown, right? So, and first of all, I mean, you got to be in her peripherals. You got to be in her line of sight. All of that comes into play when it comes to approaching women in real life. So a lot of dudes fuck up because they're nervous because they think that girl thinks, they think that girl knows what's going on. And the activity that's happening is you're trying to pick her up. You're trying to get her phone number. She doesn't know that. Like, it's completely cold. She's just in her life. What is going through her head? Oh, I'm shopping right now. I got to get this. And then I got to go pick up my dog from the groomers. And then from the groomers, I'm going to go home. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to meet up with friends. We're going to go out. She's thinking all that shit. Or she's probably like, oh, I got 2,000 followers on Instagram. Cool. Likes on this new post. I can't wait to go to lunch to post my fucking food so I can get more money. That's what's going through her head. She's not thinking about, man, that guy was cute. I really hope he comes up to me and gives me his number. And I hope that when he comes up to me, he gives me the perfect open. She don't think that. She's just going through life. So the easiest way, it's like merging in traffic, right? The smoother you can merge to the next lane, the better, right? So how do you do that? You go with traffic speed. You go with life speed. What is she doing at that moment? Is she running? Is she walking slowly? Is she shopping? Whatever she's doing, flow in with that. So for example, if you see in her hand, she's shopping. She's got a fucking Louis Vuitton shopping bag or whatever the case may be. You know she's out shopping. That's it. Open up with that. Go with the speed of traffic of life. The speed of life at that moment. So she's shopping. You come in, you're like, Louis Vuitton, huh? You know what? I'll tell you what. I've been trying to look for a bag for my mom. It's her birthday coming soon. And I noticed your bag. And actually, you know what? I'll tell you something. You look really cute. Like, I know that bag looks really good on you. You just expressed intent. So you open smoothly by talking about what's going on at the moment. And at that second, you got to show intent. You got to tell her why you're talking to her.
Yeah,
and you go from there.
All right. Any questions on that?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
What are your favorite places to actually cold approach?
My number one, there's top two. Restaurants and the gym, believe it or not. So one of the things that I do that I share with this in my Discord, like I tell everybody, listen, if Saturdays for me is like Saturdays I would say in the mornings, Sundays in the mornings, because think about it. You think a girl who's clubbing all night is gonna make it to the gym in the morning? The next morning, she's not, right? So I prefer going to the gym at those times because I know if the girl's there, she didn't go clubbing the night before. More than likely, she's more of a good girl, right? So gyms in the mornings on Saturday and Sundays. What I'll do is, and this is if you're in a metropolitan area that's more populated, you can do this in a small town too. If you have the funds, and I would say it's cheaper to pay for 2 gym memberships, 3 gym memberships, than to go out every night drinking, trying to pick up girls. You go out one night drinking, let's say minimum 3 drinks at the cheap side of things, if all you do is shots, it's $8 a shot. That's $24. That's a month's membership at a cheap gym, right? If you do dinner, you're easily spending $40-$50. If you do regular drinks at 12 to 18 to $20 a drink, you're close to $60, where you could have spent that on 2 gym memberships and then go pick up at the different gyms. Go to one gym, warm up for 30 minutes. You see a girl, say what's up and dip. Go to the next gym. Go to the next gym, start hitting your weights. You see a girl you like, go approach, say what's up and dip. Go to the next gym, finish up with your last piece of cardio. You just spent 4 hours at the gym. You did 2 positive things that are helping you in your life. Number 1, you're hitting the gym for a good amount of time. Number 2, you just got 3-4 numbers. That's a productive ass morning. So that's one of my favorites is the gym.
So you would say that's pretty cool, because there's the idea where like if a man was to say that, oh, I live in a small town, I don't have enough volume to make so many approaches here and there. What you're advising is create your own volumes, make yourself get the chance, create the chances for yourself as opposed to waiting or trying to go and find
exactly
it.
Create.
That's pretty. I've never heard that. That's pretty cool. Create your own volume.
30 years in the game, man. 30 years in the game. That's the saying I have. I've been in the game. I'm 31, so 31 years in the game now. That's the saying I have. Like, hey, that's where the wisdom comes from.
Cool.
Yeah, I got that.
Nice.
Okay, I have one question for like, let's say I made it to the interaction and I got a number. What do you think about the idea? Because there's 2 ideas, right? The first idea is more that once you get a number, it's good to stick around maybe like max 5 minutes after you get the number so that, you can solidify the number and reduce the flakiness. And then there's the other one where you just get the number and you just go. Which one do you advise, or is there a different perspective you have on that?
I always advise to get the number and stay. Now, I don't say max 5 minutes. I just say stay as long as you feel the energy, right? A good, in my opinion, from my approaches, the more you stay, the better. Like, because it ends up being a date, right? Just hanging out. But if you're going to stay longer, you have to be smart about it. Don't just stay standing there. So, for example, if I'm at the gym and I'm talking to a girl and the conversation is good, it's kind of like at the bar, right? You want to move her to another location. Just be like, hey, listen, I'm sorry, I got to get water, but I want to keep this conversation. Come with me. She'll follow you. If you got to be very assertive. She'll say, come with me. And we'll start walking. And she's like, oh, okay. And she'll come with you, right? Or like if you see her walking by and you already talked to her earlier, but now you think she's leaving, you want to close the phone number, go up to her and be like, hey, listen, by the way, I know you mentioned this, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm going to get your number. Hey, come with me, though. I left my phone. Have her come with you, right? Then get the number and then continue to talk. So that's a way, if it went really well, to continue the conversation past another 2 minutes, 3 minutes after you got the number. If it didn't go that well, then if the conversation wasn't that great, you got the phone number anyway, stay another 2 minutes, max, and just say, hey, listen, I'm going to let you go. I'll leave. If she's showing that she's a little bit in a hurry, you can start seeing her body language. She's turning. She's kind of like walking away. Then 1 minute, let her go. But always, always talk after you get the number. Always. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you just get the number, let's say I do this. Let's say I'm a homeless dude. And I'm just like, hey, yo, what's up, gentlemen? How's it going? And you guys, oh, hey, what's up? Man, you know what? I got to tell you something. You guys look good. I just want to say you look good. You're going to be like, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, you guys going out tonight? Yeah. I remember back in my day, I used to go out too, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Man, y'all are some studs. I hope y'all have fun tonight. You guys are going to be like, yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. And he's like, by the way, can I get $1? You guys will be like, all right, yeah, sure. You give him $1. And then he walks off. What are you going to think? Fuck this dude. This dude was just talking shit just so he can get $1.
$1, yeah. That makes sense.
For the
This
charmless,
dude
charmless
plays.
$1.
Yeah, you're like, this dude plays.
Yeah, motherfucker.
But then he's like, man, I appreciate the $1, bro. Like, you know what I'm going to do with this $1? I'm going to go get some pizza, this and that. But I still hope y'all have fun. I hope y'all get some numbers tonight. I hope you get laid, this and that. You're like, yeah. It's a great experience. You gave him the $1 and you had the good experience, right? Same with women. You get her phone number, have her continue the good experience. Have her leave that interaction with that memory of, man, that was a cool guy. I enjoyed that. But if you leave right when you get the number, she's gonna think, oh, he just wanted my number. Oh, okay. And then to add, don't be a fucking bitch and settle for the Instagram. I teach this to
okay, cool. Okay.
I definitely agree with
all my
that.
students. You are a bitch if you settle for the Instagram, because it's an objection in sales. It's called an objection. It means that she wants to give you her number. She's just testing you to see, if she can get away with not giving it to you, right? So if you settle for the Instagram, she's gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, I imagine this guy is not for real. He's not gonna be like a man and really ask for my number. Like that's instinctually what she's gonna think, right? And people say all the time, oh, I don't want to intrude so much. Motherfucker, you're intruding in her world right now. You don't know her. You're a stranger, and you're trying to intrude in her world right now. What more of a difference does it make if you get the number? It doesn't. And regardless, you can't look at it as you intruding her world. You are blessing her world by her getting the opportunity to get to know you. So you're doing her a favor by saying no to the Instagram and getting the phone number. That's what's really happening. Like, that's the mindset you have to have, the frame that you have to have, that no matter what girl I talk to, I'm going to positively influence her life. So it's better for her. I want the best for her. The best for her is for her to give me her phone number so I can positively influence her life in a better way. If she just gives me her Instagram, I won't have that opportunity. She's shooting herself in the foot. Like, that's a very arrogant perspective to have. But the moment you learn to value yourself at that level, other people around you will value you at that level. And girls will value you at that level. And that's when you get that frame where you come and say, listen, I don't like it when a girl does this. And it's okay if you're like this. But if this is who you really are, I don't want to date you. Because my standards are here. And she's going to believe it because you proved that from the start, because you didn't settle for the Instagram. Because it's your way or the highway.
You mentioned like sales, and I agree with you. It's like when you get a customer and they give you like a trash email instead of getting like their either real phone number or the real email. You know what I'm saying? Similar concept.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Okay, yeah, question?
Yeah, let me go through.
Go ahead.
So let's say sometimes women do this. They'll do it either in person or through text. They usually through text, but sometimes in person. Well, they'll throw a qualifier towards you, like kind of like a shit test qualifier. So how would you handle that situation?
So first of all, okay, let's attack it this way.
Okay.
First of all, I know you mentioned through text. If you're getting qualifying objections through text, if she's trying to qualify you through text, number one, that's telling me two things. You're either doing too much social media, or not social media, but you probably got this number off Tinder. I highly recommend, if you're doing Tinder and Bumble, don't get me wrong, I use them too. But that's not your main source of leads, right? We talked about earlier, talking about how you have to make the opportunity. Tinder and Hinge and all that, it's not your main opportunity. It's not your main source of girls. Your main source has got to be real life. It's got to be. To me, that's the foundation. Why? Because it's not about girls. It's not about women. It's not about game. Well, it is about game, but it's not about that game that people perceive as getting girls. No, it's about the game of life. If you have the ability to talk to any stranger out on the street and have them stop for 10 minutes plus in the conversation, you have the ability to influence. If you have the ability to influence, how much more of a man are you? Right? The most important people in this world know how to influence. So when people talk to me all the time saying, nah, man, I'm not focused on girls, man. I'm just focused on my grind. Okay, what are you grinding on? Right? Oh, you go to work and then what? You go home and you watch Netflix for 5 hours? Motherfucker, go out, learn to talk to girls, learn to influence, go get a job in sales, fucking kill it. Now you're really working on your grind, right? So game teaches you that. Game teaches you how to speak out. It's the game. It's not this game. It's not talking game. It's the game of life. And so having the ability to speak and influence, and you're learning real life game. So that's number one. Don't do too much dating apps and all that shit. Two, to answer the other question with qualifying, if you're answering questions on qualifying via text, that means you're texting too much. The only time you should be texting a girl more than once a day is after you had sex, right? Otherwise, you're texting her, unless you just met, you're texting her here and there, and you're leading to the date, pushing to the date, pushing to the date. So if she's trying to qualify you, either she's giving you an objection to, it better be an objection to the date, or if you guys are having a full-on conversation and she's trying to qualify you during that conversation, you already fucked up. You gave her too much attention. So let's say she's trying to qualify you because you pushed to the date. Let's say you say, give me an example with that. Or what kind of qualifying question could I see?
Well, sometimes it'll come like you're trying to build investment and then you want to close for a date, right? Sometimes if you don't build enough investment online, then they won't even show up to the date. They'll just flake last minute.
So that's okay. So the investment has to come from something that you see that she likes, right? So you got to look on her profile. You got to look at her pictures. What does she do a lot that she likes? Okay. If you see that she's on the beach a lot, great. Be like, hey, listen, I thought you were interesting. I'd like to get to know you. Let's do coffee on the beach on Saturday this time, right? She already likes the beach. If she says no to you, two things. Number one, she probably just doesn't really like you because the beach is cool. She's going to say yes to the beach. She likes doing it. Or number two, she's really not busy, right? I mean, she really is busy. So either she's not interested or she really is busy. It's one of those two. That's it. Because if she wasn't busy, what is the alternative? Yeah. Like, what else would she do? She'd either go on a date with somebody else, right? And if she goes on a date with somebody else, then that just means she's not as interested in you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If I could jump in here, I'm just a bit curious. Because you tend to not use I guess you advise not to really use dating apps. So my question is just to give another example of like another qualifier. Let's say like sometimes in online dating, because I get what you're saying, but maybe I just missed something. So let's say in online dating that you're having like this battle of frame, right? You're building your value up with her, or you're building like she's really hot, so you have to build up a certain value of yourself to basically show her you're more.
She's really what? What'd you say?
Like she's really hot, right? Okay. So in her mind, she already has that. She already has the abundance, and she already has the idea that she's better than any man, right? On the dating app, especially if she doesn't take it serious, right? So you get engaged in these like battle of frames, basically showing who is the high value, who's gonna lead, and who's gonna follow, right? So what girls tend to do is they'll throw like a shit test or a qualifying shit test. Like if you say like, oh yeah, because I'm so hilarious, and then she'll say something like, well, what makes you so funny, right? So she's kind of baiting you for a qualifier, or she's trying to see if you're gonna crumble. So I guess that's kind of my thing, because you're saying that like maybe if she does something like that because you messed up, or that maybe she doesn't like you. So in that situation, what do you think there? Because I think it's a bit different.
That's a great situation. I mean, that's perfect. That's a perfect example, because here's the battle. Here's a battle that you've already lost, right? If you're in a frame battle, you've already lost. Because in reality, who has more matches on the dating app? Her or you?
Yeah,
sure.
Her.
So she's automatically going to be able to just walk away, right? So the real test of value comes from, I don't give a fuck, I'm out. Like that's the real answer, right? Like, do you think that if a girl comes up to Chris Brown and is like, oh, well, I'm higher value than you, what do you think he's going to do? Oh, okay, fuck you. I'm going to get the next girl. I have so many fucking bitches.
There's nothing,
Right? So if you're already fighting that battle, you already lost. You're already down. You shouldn't have to fight that battle. Now, as a man like myself, let's just say, I'm not saying I'm like super high value. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if Chris Brown had that question asked to him, right? He says, oh, yeah, because I'm hilarious. He's like, oh, how hilarious are you? That's the shit test, right? find out on our date. Meet me here. That's it. You push it to the date. That's the problem. A lot of dudes text more than there shouldn't be more than 10 texts back and forth, right? You message her once, she messages back. You message again, she messages back. You message again, start hinting at the date, she messages back, you solidify the date. That's it. That's it. And if she says no, cool. Don't reply, wait 3 days. Come back, do it again. Same cycle. Hey, what's up? Oh, nothing much. Oh, what are you up to? I'm at the beach. That sounds cool. You like hanging out at the beach a lot? I do. I love it. What are you doing at the beach? I'm over here hanging with family. Next time you and I are going to be at the beach. I'm actually free on Saturday. This time, see me there. I can't. Fuck you. Then wait a week. Do it again. And at the third time she says no, she's not interested, right? But too many dudes are like, oh, you're at the beach. That's amazing. The last time I was at the beach, I was doing this with my brother. We hung out. Da-da-da. When's the last time you went and did this? Da-da-da. Oh, I did. Fuck that, man. You're dropping down your value. Like, you have to, a real dude who has value, right? Everybody likes to talk about being high value. A real dude doesn't have the time to be doing that shit. Why? Because no matter where you're going, you see a beautiful girl, you're going to go and talk to her. You're going to get her number, right? It's more leads. This lead's burnt. Kill that lead. Get the next lead. We're looking for the hot lead. We're always looking for the hot lead, right? And if we find a warm lead, we'll nurture it, and then we'll close it. And if that warm lead is nurtured and doesn't close, kill it, burn it. Next one, next lead. It's sales. It's sales. And this is why it's not a numbers game, because in all reality, it is a numbers game, but it's not. Because everybody thinks, okay, I want to just keep next girl, next girl, next girl, next girl. Eventually, one's going to like me. No. Yes, eventually one will like you, but will she really like you, right? And will you really like her, right? Or you can develop your skill, you can develop your sales skill to know how to shift or sift through all these leads, pick out the ones that you really want, the ones that you know you can close, the ones that will have chemistry, the ones that will lead to something because you already know it's going to lead to something because you know what to look for, because you have the skill. And now you know how to close these girls because you've done it over and over again, and you know what works. And that way you close. And if it doesn't close, that's fine. I'm going to look for the next lead that's like you because I know I'm going to close you sooner or later. But too many dudes played a numbers game as in every girl. I'm going to swipe right on everything. Falls. That's terrible. You have no process. You have no system. And
what also means that, oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's true sales. Like, that's true sales. Like, that's sales. Big companies do this, right? I've worked for large tech companies in their sales departments. They do this. They have a system in place. You have to have the same system in place for your dating life. If you want to be a man who has the ability to choose the girl that you want. If you want to just settle for whatever comes down the pipeline, that's cool. Don't work on it. I mean, swipe and text forever and never go on a date.
No, I was gonna say that. Yeah, it's like, yeah, she's going on a date with you, but you're also testing her out to see. It's not just her testing you; you're also testing her out. You want to see if the merchandise is good. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you know how many tests I run on girls? Like, I'll test girls from the beginning. Like, I'll tell a girl, yeah, I went on a date last night. Did you smash? I'm not telling you. Well, you got to tell me. No. Or, yeah, I see other girls. Or, yeah, you know what? With my ex, she used to let me sleep around. It's just, was she able to sleep around? No, not at all. They'd be like, what? Hey, we don't got a date if you don't want to. No, you know what? As long as my man wants me and me only, and he can love me, he can do what he wants. If he provides. Oh, of course, baby girl, don't trip. Like, my goal is to give you that American Express card. Don't worry. Like, that's what, but you got to earn it. Do you think, like, don't you think that's fair? Yes. I don't want to work. I don't want to go. Cool. Don't trip. Let me do my thing. Like, that exists. It's funny because 6 years ago, when I first started, like, really learning my game, right? 6 years ago, I really decided I'm going to go out. I'm going to fucking pick up. I'm going to learn all this shit.
Yeah.
I wanted to have the ability to have options. And I didn't believe it. I didn't think you can get to a level where a girl would be in a relationship with you and completely be loyal to you and honor you and look up to you and let you smash other girls. I didn't believe it. It's funny how life changes, man.
That's cool. You take the chance, right? You're like, I heard about this. I've seen other guys do it. Let me see if it's possible.
And that goes back to the first conversation we had in the beginning, right? The nice guy mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You have to open your brain to believing that, you know what? I'm wrong. Everything that I've been taught up until this point has been wrong. And I can prove that it's wrong because of the way my life is going. Like, fuck, I don't have no bitches. There's something that I'm doing wrong.
Good point.
Accept it. I'm not saying I didn't have bitches back then. I did, but I didn't have the compliance that I wanted. I didn't have the power. I didn't have a girl's respect to where if I said, you're not going to the club, I'm going regardless. And I'd be like, fuck, man, what do I do? Shit. I didn't know. And that's what I was like, you know what? I want to learn things the right way. I want to have the ability to, anytime, no matter where I'm at, no matter what country I'm in, no matter what city I'm in, the most beautiful girls there, I'm a bag.
Respect.
Nice. We're almost getting close to time.
Let's do rapid fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna start shifting towards the end of the podcast now.
Okay.
But before we do, Big Grizz, we want to give you this platform right now. If there's anything you want to
promote or
advertise, this is your platform.
Yes.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, you know what, man? I mean, again, my shit isn't for everyone. So it's for the people who decide, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, you know what? What I've been doing isn't working, right? I need to change it up. And so there's two types of dudes. There's one dude who, you have decent confidence. You know, you can start a conversation with a girl here and there. You're just not, you want to elevate your game, right? And a lot of times I've noticed that the one step that you need is just figuring out your own system. And that's what I have. Yeah. It's something that I give to everybody. It's in my bio, my socials. It's the script. So the script is just $2. Like, I made it affordable for everybody. Who doesn't have fucking $2, right? A lot of people spend more on Hub subscriptions, right? Just $2, bro, and it'll actually get you a real girl. So if you have some sort of game and you want to get to the next level, it helps. If you have zero game and you're so nervous to go up to the girl, the script will help because it gives you confidence because you know what to say next. Like, it's just a step by step. As long as you follow the steps, you'll be good. You don't have to be nervous. So it helps everybody. And then in addition to that, I have a Discord, private Discord, $29 a month, super cheap so that everybody can afford it. And in there, we go over text game, dating apps. I go over actual, like, my infields, stuff that's not in the public, breakdowns. I go there, so I teach you step by step. Look, the script that I gave you for $2, I'm using it right here. Look, I do this, I do this, I do this. So you can, and all of them are the same. All
you still there? Oh, damn.
No, it's
Break.
a copy and paste. Fuck, is that me? Damn.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, you broke up a little bit.
Yeah, I missed a lot of the.
Where did I break up at? What was the last part?
Where you break down the script in your through
your.
Oh,
okay, yeah. So it's just the copy and pasting. And so that's for everybody. And then, I mean, from there, that's it, man. And then if you need extra help, private, that's email me. We can talk about that. That's something that's just whatever.
Yeah, we'll have all of the links to set places in our description.
In the description, in the bio too.
Just thegrizzcave.com. That's it, man. Click on that, you're good to go.
All right, cool.
Definitely. All right.
Let's do it.
Thank you for that. All right. So we're gonna jump into rapid fire questions. Just some few questions that are more personal about you, so the audience can get to know you personally aside from your line of work. So, all right. Question number 1 is, what's your favorite color?
Favorite color? Black. I think it's black. I mean, my apartment has like black axes. The couch is black pants. I think it's black.
Right on. Favorite number?
24, Kobe. So growing up, I love watching Kobe. My jersey, I played basketball in high school. It's 24. So
nice. That's cool. That's a cool answer. Favorite wrestler growing up?
Wrestler?
Wrestler. Yep.
It's funny because when I was a kid, I watched a shitload of wrestling, and then after middle school, I didn't watch anything. So, but it's funny. Like I like it. I don't think I have. Oh, you know, I take it back. Brock Lesnar.
Oh, okay. You got it first. Yeah. I like that. Okay.
Mama was a beast.
Brock Lesnar. Yeah, Brock Lesnar is sick. What is your favorite like view in Anaheim or that area?
View?
Yeah.
I've only been here a couple months, so I just recently. A really quick backstory. So I lived in after that story I shared with you guys in LA. After LA, I actually decided to leave the country. I left for like 2-3 months. I went to Colombia. I visit Colombia very often, so I was out there 2-3 months. I came back for a month for the holidays to visit my mom, and then I went back to Mexico, and I was there for a month and a half, almost 2 months. So like after that, I moved here. So I've only been here a little bit. I don't know too many places. A view, I've heard of a restaurant. Actually, my favorite view that I've been to, there's a restaurant called Blue Sky Bar Restaurant. It's like by Disneyland. It's super tall. You get a view of everything. So that place. And then there's another place called the Fifth Rooftop that I've been wanting to go to. Every time I go to, it's packed. I got to make a reservation like a week and a half in advance. I always forget. So
nice. Okay, and just the last one of mine, and then you can go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who is your favorite musician, artist you're listening to right now?
Musician or artist that I'm listening to right now. Quick tip: if you're not into reggaeton, listen to reggaeton, because especially Latinas, they love it, and then it's part of that sexual aura, right? It's part of the having that animalistic side of you that likes sex. That women think about sex. So when we put on reggaeton, it's the first thing you think of. But right now, one of the artists I listen to a lot. Actually, it's an artist I always listen to, is 50 Cent. I listen to a lot of 50 Cent. So I would say him probably. Anuel on the reggaeton side.
Hell yeah. Favorite quote?
Favorite quote?
Yeah.
I don't think I have one. I probably one of Kobe's quotes. If you don't work hard, you and I don't have anything in common. Something like that. I think he said something like that. If you're not a hard worker, we don't have anything in common. I'm sure I have one, but yeah, I think that's the only one so far.
That's cool. And then lastly, just what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street? Yeah.
By far. Wolf of Wall Street.
That's it.
Nice.
You want to close out?
Yeah. So thank you for coming through, man. And I know it's you took time off your day to come through, so we appreciate you.
Yeah.
We're gonna send you the link once it's all posted and everything. Do you have any questions for us before we head out?
Nah, man. Just keep grinding. Like this is beautiful for business as well. What we talked about earlier. Make the opportunity. Create those opportunities. Right. It's create the exposure. That's the same with business, right? So you guys keep grinding, keep creating that exposure, go out, fucking post all the time. Just it's a marketing funnel, right? That's all it is. It's all the as many eyeballs as you can, and sooner or later it's gonna turn into actual business. And so keep it up, guys. You guys are doing a good job.
No, we appreciate you.
Appreciate that, man. Definitely.
Got it.
All right, have a good one.
All right, Big Grizz. Thank you, man.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll see you.